Okay, here we go, our CC with square layers haircut. So I'll start off at the top and I'll separate the hair just right where she naturally parts. And just make sure that your sections are always super clean. So I'll start off with the lighter side parting. I comb the hair straight out, and from here I'm cutting in a square line which will create layers to the top. I'm starting in the back by the crown area, and I'll gradually work forward. And then from there, every progressive section will be over directed to the exact same point. So when the hair falls to natural fall, we have our symmetry and our balance. Okay, one key thing to keep in mind, when you're cutting square layers to the top, it's wisest to stand on the opposite side that you're cutting. So here, I'm cutting the right side, but my body's on the left. So this will allow your body position to help you avoid over directing the hair excessively. Now again, working in clean, manageable sections. A challenge with long hair is ensuring that you're always combing the hair super clean from roots to your guideline. You have to make sure that the hair that you comb is always parallel to the teeth of your scissors. Any snags in that stroke will result in a longer length. Okay, so here I'll start to balance out into the side area. So again, the sides are also over directed to that exact same point. Now notice how with this haircut, I didn't go in and cut in my one length first. I start with my three-dimensional shape. That means when I elevate the hair above 0 degrees. So here I'm doing my 3D shape. And the outline here, it'll drop out, or I'll just dust a little bit of hair. Okay, so now I'm building up the length through the top opposite side. So again here, I'll come out my section, standing again at the opposite side, combing the hair straight out, super clean, and here I continue to layer the top area. Again, working in small, manageable sections. Your stroke count and your stroke excellence is imperative to executing an amazing cut through the top. Okay, and as I stroke the hair, my eyes are always really intensely looking at the hair that I just combed. So now again, through the opposite side, I'll over direct the hair to the exact same point. So here I'm building up length. So I'll create graduation also. And this technique is really great for long hair clients because I'm starting off with my three-dimensional shape. I'm not cutting in my one length or my base shape and then doing the layers. And it's a safe way to approach a new client that has long hair because it removes their anxiety of you cutting the hair way too short. So clients mentally will feel like you're taking down less hair if you're starting three-dimensional. Okay, so working to the back, I'll divide the back into two major sections. And I'll take the guideline that exists right at the crown area. I'm standing in front of the model, like between her shoulder and her nose. And then from here, I'm over directing every section on both sides to the exact same point. So the three-dimensional shape that I'm cutting between my fingers is a square layer shape, but I'm also creating graduation through that over direction. So through the back, my shortest length will be my first section. My longest will be my last. So again, it's a safe approach for long hair because a lot of the one length will drop out. And then the client, again, like I said earlier, will feel that you're not taking down too much length. You're just refining the shape. A lot of times it's not the amount of hair that we cut, it's the actual shape that we cut. Okay, and the fun part about what our craft is that we can trick the human eye. So here I'm letting the outline drop, but then the end result will appear that the hair is longer than I started. Because again, the shape that I'm building will elongate the entire shape. So visually, the hair will look longer, even though I'm taking down some length. So often you have to explain this to the client, and let them understand it's not actually the amount of hair that we cut, it's the intention, it's the shape that we're building. So we can cut the hair a little bit shorter, but the end result will look longer because we're pulling the shape long, we're elongating it, we're not making it wider. So it's all about technique and intention here. So again, make sure you comb the hair super clean from roots to ends. And again, for me, this is the hardest part about cutting long hair. Once you know the shape that you're actually building, the technique that you'll be using, and your body position throughout the haircut, once you calculate those 3 details, then you have 100% of your attention to be placed on the way you comb and stroke the hair. You really have to understand to control the hair. We actually control it not with the hands that holds our scissors. It's not the shape that we cut with the scissors. It's the way that we control the hair. So actually the real control for me comes out of my left hand with my comb, not necessarily my scissors. So try and get your head around that. Okay, again, nice control stroke count. For this length, I'd really just want to go in and say each section at the most, comb it out twice and then cut it. Once would be awesome, but 2 times, that's enough. So the first time I comb the hair here, it's just get it nice and clean from the roots. And then I slowly pull the hair up to my guideline, and I'll just take the hair down from there. And notice how I have a piece of my guideline to the opposite side, because the more guidelines I have throughout my haircut, the better. And just again, calm, cool, collected, less is more. My stroke count is slow, but sometimes slow is faster than fast because I don't have to comb out that section 20 times, and I comb out this section perfectly. So again, less is more. So again, less is more, we can go back to that 80-20 rule. I can use 20% effort to get 80% of the results, or I can use 80% effort to get 20% of the result. I've experienced both in my career. After 20 years, in the beginning I would use 80% of my effort and it would deliver 20% of the result. So now I'm more aware and I'm more conscious of the shape that I'm actually building. So here, today, I'm using 20% effort, but I'm getting 80% of the result. That comes through experience and intention, technique, and first calculating tons and tons of details. Like before I even cut the section, it's already done in my mind. Now I just have to execute it. So again, for me, I'm an intentional cutter, and I see a clear and clean end result prior to opening my scissors. So again, standing in front of the guest, working in clean sections. So this area is like, it's reaching the occipital bone. I'm working in manageable sections. Notice how my section isn't too gigantic. I just take the prior section and the new section that I intend to cut. If I took a gigantic section, one, it's harder to control a crazy amount of hair. 2, it'll deviate my length if I take too much hair also. So it's always nice to work in small, clean, manageable sections. So again, I'm just taking a piece of that last section that I cut at the occipital bone, and now I'm working to my last section through the nape, over direct the hair square out, and I'm just dusting in that one length. So I already got that one length in. Okay, so here with the finish, this time I'm going with the round brush. I want to get the hair super polished. So what I'll do, when you're finishing the hair, you constantly have to have that brush moving, and always be aware of the angle that your nozzle is following the brush. I'm looking at like a 10 to 15 degree angle, and here I'm blowing out a really big curved shape into the hair. Big, curved, and smooth. Always keep that brush moving so the end result won't fall too rigid. Close up that cuticle, and here I'm just drying in, and I'm flipping my brush so I get more bend in that shape. Okay, so again, drying out the roots. I'm pushing the hair up, forward, getting it nice and smooth, and look at where my eyes are. My eyes are concentrated, and I have super focus on the actual shape that I'm drying. So the first time out, I just want to get it nice and smooth. And here, I'm starting to relax on my tension. That's where I start to put in my bevel, my bend. And as I dry the hair, I use my body. I lean forward and backwards, so I don't have to use my hands too much. So I'm using the 80-20 rule again. Less effort for maximum result. And through the top, I'd like to dry it out in multiple directions. So this way, I'll get tons and tons and tons of movement. So my intention is tons of movement, super shiny. After the finish, I want the hair to look like see a commercial for like a deep conditioning treatment, like a finish look. Super shiny, super polished, because when that cuticle's closed and its nails shut, just running through your hair, your fingers through the client's hair, it feels amazing. And that impresses the client, like, and it'll impress yourself, because that's what a proper finish actually feels like. Okay, so here I'm just going through and I'm just chipping into the hair. I'm just removing some of that weight. And look how shiny those ends are. From the roots to the ends. I'm just removing all this excess weight. I'm not changing my shape. I'm just chipping into the ends. I want the shape to fall soft and organic. Working in shadows and considering the density of the hair and how the hair will fall naturally. Okay, and again, with texturizing, less is more. Because if I go and I over texturize the hair, it will grow out awfully. It won't grow out well, because again, the structural foundation will be missing. So through the sides here, I just want to go and get something like sporty and fun. So just do the right side panel. I'm going in, I'm cutting in a quite short length. I'm cutting in that length, I'm cutting it square between my fingers. And then I'll go in and scissor over comb and just polish it just a bit. So if she wants to see like a bit of a sporty look, she can just push the hair back, and it's quite convertible. When the hair falls down, it'll cover out this shorter area. And the reason I'm only taking one side short is because I found if I take both sides short, it looks a bit punky, it looks a bit maybe offensive. So if I just do one side, then it'll still look cool, but only half as cool. And sometimes I just need it to look half as cool, just to give it that extra oomph. I don't have to do both sides because it might be a bit much. Okay, so there we have it. Our CC with square layers and a short one side. Enjoy.